Well, greetings, potential substitute teachers and parapros. Hey, my name is Mike McLaughlin. I'm the K-12 principal here at North Bay Haven Charter Academy, and let me be the first to welcome you. We're so happy that you want to be part of our family and help out in what I call the best job in the world, being an educator and a teacher. Guys, I decided to put this video together this year for a couple reasons. One, to talk about some of the reopening and COVID safety precautions that we're putting into our school. And I thought this would be a good way to train everybody if you're our visitor to our campus and substitute teaching for us, but also just a good opportunity for me to go over a lot of the normal things that we do differently maybe in the school. So again, let me welcome you. My goal for today's meeting and for this presentation is to familiarize you with our campus, kind of our procedures, what we normally do here, but also in this new world of COVID. I also like to kind of walk you through some of the things. Hopefully you got everything taken care of with our HR department and our front office. You're ready to go. So so with that said, let's get started. I'm going to share this screen with you and do a presentation. And again, I hope this is very, very helpful. All right, first slide that I want to talk to you guys about today would be what do you need to do to get started here to be a substitute? So first of all, one of the questions I get a lot is who's qualified? Do you have to have a degree? The answer is no. You just have to have a high school diploma to be a substitute teacher here. Again, a substitute teacher, you only have to have a high school diploma. Where do I get my paperwork from? Well, hopefully by now you've received your paperwork in either the elementary or the middle school, high school office from the front counter. We have packets together for you, everything you need to know, checklists to walk you through exactly what you need to be a sub for us. It's definitely not as hard as you may think. We ask you to get fingerprinted. You're going to have to do an application process. And there's a few things you're going to have to do, but for the most part, the packet itself will walk you right through. It's very, very self-explanatory. We're trying to make this easy on everybody. So again, just come to the front office at the elementary school or the middle school, high school, ask for a substitute folder packet, and we'll get you started with all of that, okay? It's self-explanatory. I'm also asked a lot, how much are our subs paid? Currently, our substitute teachers are making $75 a day, or if you do hold a master's degree, they pay you $90 a day. I know our board is currently working on increasing that, and so by the time this video is published, it's probably going to be higher than that. And so the office ladies will let you know. Plus, this will be in the packet of our new amount. Is there training? Of course, there's training. We're going to ask you to do two things. First of all, watch the video that you're currently watching now, and then email me that you've watched this. It's very important that you watch this entire program. And then the second thing is you have to take a Beacon course, and you can see here's the address. It's called Professional Practices for Paraprofessionals and Subs. It is going to cost you $18 to take this course. You'll print your certificate, and then you're going to bring it with you when you set up your meeting, number 6, with Margie Garcia at Bay Haven. So once you've all completed all of this, you're going to need to drive over to our sister school, Bay Haven, which is located off of 389, and set up a meeting with, go to the front counter, ask for Margie Garcia, tell them that you are a potential sub and you'd like to meet her to give her your finished packet. And then to do the final piece, which is to enroll you in our program for subbing. We formerly called it ASOP. It's now called Frontline, and that will get you ready to go. The last thing on that slide, it said, is before you start, if you haven't not been on this campus yet, I would highly recommend that you drive around, know where the middle school, high school building is, know where the elementary building is. They're all labeled, and also know which parking lots to park in. We have a south lot, which is closest to 390 by the football field, and that's where all the teachers park if you're in the middle school or the high school building. And there are assigned spots that your teacher that you're subbing for would tell you in ASOP or in Frontline when they put out for subs. So that'll happen there. Elementary is in the back by the elementary building. And if you happen to sub for Mr. Bell and band, Miss Page and choir, or PE, you'll park in front of the gym. So drive all that, guys, so you know where to park, because it gets quite crazy around here in the mornings. Yeah, I would recommend you drive all that before you ever start, okay? All right, so once all that's done, and Miss Garcia over at Bay Haven, or they may have you meet with a lady by the name of Miss Austeel, one of the two from HR, tell you you are good to go. You can now sub for us. here we go. Now the fun begins. So what'll happen is we use a program called ASOP or Frontline. It's called Frontline now. Some of you may know it as ASOP. It's a system where they either will call you or you're going to be able to log in and look for jobs and pick the jobs that you want. Sub jobs so you can plan ahead or receive a phone call. Guys, just expect, a lot of you have asked me, is this a full-time job? No, it's a part-time job, but expect to get a phone call pretty much every day. We have a lot of teachers here. We have over 150 teachers on this campus. If you also want to sub at Bayhaven, our sister school, you know, they're pushing 100 teachers as well. So plan on subbing every single day for one of us. But if you do want to plan ahead, you can go online and pick that out. Again, Miss Garcia will walk you through this. Okay, so you'll get a job, and in that report, it's going to tell you what school to report to, your parking. So hopefully the teachers will put in there the parking spot, and then you will report to school on that first day. Now, all of our subs, we ask you to be here by 7:15 in the morning. That's when our day is 7:15 to 3:15. So that's what we ask you to work. When you report, if you're to North Bayhaven Elementary School, you report to North Bayhaven Elementary front office. And if you are the middle school, high school, we ask you to report to the middle school, high school office and let them know you're subbing. What'll happen is the front office will get you keys, lesson plans, and they will walk you to your classroom. Once they get you to your classroom, then we'll talk about that in our next slide. But again, we want you to know that we're a customer service school first. They'll walk you to your room. They'll give you keys and they'll get you your lesson plan so you have kind of a good idea of what to expect. The other thing is we do have lunch here. There is a cost for it, but a lot of our subs bring their own lunches. But you're welcome to eat our lunch. Lunch is $3.50. And the lunch for all three schools is in the main middle school, high school lunchroom. Okay. All right. So there you go. You got your call. You want to show up to the front office. All right. Now you're here. Now, before I get into some of the other details, let me just kind of go into some of the things that, you know, I know a lot of you know, if you're a parent, you understand these things. If you're a parent of a North Bayhaven child, a lot of this will make sense here as well. But if you're not, if you're new at this, let me just kind of walk you through some of the things that will really make your day go a lot better. First of all, when you get to the classroom, again, this is why we asked you to get here at 7:15. You know, get here, familiarize yourself with the classroom. Okay, so walk around, know where the computer is, know where a lot of the other things are at when you get there. Walk across the hallway, introduce yourself to your neighbor teacher, and that's going to be a big thing, especially if you're new to us, because they're going to kind of help you. They're going to be your little friend. Anything you need, you're going to go find them, and they're going to help you all day long. Okay, so find your neighbor teacher. They can be a big help. Also, find what's called the emergency call button. Every classroom has one here. Those are a little red button by your desk. Push it. You always can call the office and ask for help, ask questions that you may need, but that's the emergency call button. Find and locate what are called the emergency cards, and you may want to look over them. That would be if we ever had a fire, a weather lockdown, or God forbid, a real lockdown. So take a look at those. They're posted by every door, and I really don't want to talk about them in this public setting here, but every classroom has them. Go read them so you know what our procedures are. Guys, find the nearest bathroom or restroom in case you need to step out. We want to make sure you know where that's at. We have a number of restrooms on all three of our schools, so find those. Okay? All right, so that's what you do when you first get here. Now, the bell rings. Here we go. We get started. We ask that you stand by the door, greet your kids, have your name on the board, and, you know, say good morning, have a smile, all that good stuff there. And I think once you do that, the kids will feel a lot more comfortable with you. We use the signal here. I want to make sure we're all on the same page here. It's called Give Me 5. And we use that in our K-12 school to get everybody on task. So if kids are all talking, instead of yelling, be quiet, hey, flickering the lights, we don't do that here, guys. All we do is we hold up our hand and say, give me 5. And by the second time, if they haven't given me 5, they should know better. But our kids are really good at that and respectful. So give me 5. The kids know to stop talking immediately. All right. So that's the signal that we want you guys all using to keep kids quiet or to get them back together. The other thing I'd recommend to run an effective classroom is what's called proximity. So although I'll get to the COVID stuff here in a few minutes, typically we ask you to walk around. If you have a table of kids that are not maybe doing the best work they should be, go stand next to them, move around, don't sit behind your desk. Okay, so that's A couple little tricks, we'll call it, of running an effective classroom. Number 8, we say stick to lesson plans. I know sometimes it may seem fun, or the kids may say, hey, can we watch a movie today? Or hey, can we pull out our phones? Guys, the answer to that's no. Stick to your lesson plans that the teachers made, and you're going to have a lot less problems. Stick to what our kids know here. Number 9, know our 25 expectations. Every classroom has a poster. Mine's right over here. It's called the 25 expectations for student behavior. Know them all and reference them every once in a while, guys. Our kids know them. K-12, we're an old-fashioned school here. We believe in this stuff. Our kids do it, and so we expect that. So kind of keep that in mind. And then the last thing I'll just say is, enjoy it, but, you don't have to come in and be mean and tough. Be positive, smile, laugh, but also be firm. Let them know that, you are the adult in the room. One thing we ask is never embarrass kids. So if you have a problem with a kid, maybe ask them to come out in the hallway if proximity is not working. And if that isn't working, guys, hit the red button, go get your neighbor, and we'll help you out. But I will ask that before anybody leaves for the day, write their names down so that the teacher knows to deal with it next time. We expect our kids to treat all of our subs or any adult on this campus with the utmost respect at all times. It's not tolerated. We do not tolerate disrespect or rude behavior from anybody on this campus. That's from teachers, subs, adults, and students. And so help me out with that, guys, and I think you're going to have a great day. So those are just a couple of tricks I want to throw by you to try to run an effective classroom so that you have a great day. All right, so this next slide here is all about new stuff. These things are all brand new this year. We're all working through them, but I want to kind of give you a heads up on some of the things that you're walking into this year that are a little bit different. First of all, the first thing I wrote down here is IT and or your neighbor teacher will help you get your computer set up if you're team teaching. So what I mean by that is this. Guys, our subs this year we're gonna have one of two different sets of subs. We're gonna have a traditional sub where you come in the room and you teach the students, okay? Basically, you're the teacher. The teacher, for some reason, is home. They're not feeling well. They're possibly on a conference or whatever, but the teacher's not here, so you are the teacher, okay? I'm not talking about that right now. What I'm talking about is if you are end up being a team teacher, in other words, we had to send that classroom teacher home on quarantine, that teacher will actually be still the teacher that day. Your job is really to manage the classroom. So we'll have IT, your neighbor teacher, myself, we'll be down there to help you set up the smart board and the computer so that all you have to do is direct attention to the whiteboard and let that teacher from home teach the classroom. We call that a team teaching method, okay? That will be when we're quarantining teachers from this COVID stuff, okay? So that's what number one's talking about. We'll help you with that. And we are going to have cases, unfortunately, of this where we have to team teach because we had to send a teacher home, okay? Now, if you're not team teaching, you are not required to teach the IDL students. Now, what's an IDL student? Those are all the kids we're calling our virtual kids. So we have every classroom that you're going to see this year, you're going to have what we call brick and mortar, the kids that are actually sitting in front of you. And then you have a group of kids in that same period that are home learning. Our traditional teachers are teaching both the brick and mortar kids and the virtual at the same time. Okay. We're not going to ask you to do that. So don't worry about it. You guys are not an IDL teacher. You're only going to be teaching the brick and mortar kids for that day. The teacher themselves will push out work for those kids to do at home. So don't feel like you ever got to do that. Again, unless you're team teaching. If you're team teaching, then you're going to do it together with them. And that's a different scenario. We'll help you through that. Okay. All right. So I want you to know the difference between teaming or if you're the actual sub that day. If you're the sub, don't worry about teaching the virtual kids. I've had a number of you reach out to me and ask me that question. You do not have to teach the virtual kids, okay? All right, number 3. This is for everybody on campus. We expect everybody to wear masks at all time. Students and every single member on this campus. We tell kids and staff to wear them in the hallways, the bathrooms, the cafeteria. Whenever we're not socially distanced, they should be on. In the classrooms, the kids should come in with the masks on every day, and then we leave that up to the teacher to tell the students when they can take them off. If your kids are spread out 6 feet or more, you can tell them to take the masks off. We ask you as the teacher to sit behind your desk where we have the safety shield. You can have your mask off as well. But that's totally up to you. We're going to leave that whole part up to you. If you don't feel comfortable, those kids can wear their masks and leave them on the whole time. The only thing that I ask is use a little common sense. If we're having a student that needs a little break to take theirs off, we have an area in the room where they can go away, have a little breathing break, and take their mask off for a minute. Okay, so that's how that first part works. So we're a mask wearing school. We expect you to have one. If you show up and don't have one, the office will get you a free mask, so don't worry about it, okay? Lastly, with masks, we've asked everybody on this campus that this is not the place on a mask to be offensive or to bring politics into our school. So we're asking that everybody has a very generic mask with no messages on them whatsoever, okay? All right, B, what happens if you notice a kid looks sick? We're not going to ask you as a sub to take temperatures, to be a doctor. Now, a lot of our teachers we've trained them what to look for. Every single classroom does have a thermometer. If you feel a little bit more comfortable with that and you don't mind taking temperatures, feel free to do that. But for the most part, guys, if you have somebody that's not feeling well, hit that red button, tell the office what's going on, and they're going to probably have you send them down to the office, okay? Just kind of want to make sure you understood how that works. C is important, guys. Social distance yourself and your students. I know the tendency is you're going to want to get to know your kids and walk around. Just be very, very careful on this. We're asking every adult to stay away from each other. Use that 6-foot rule and that 15-minute rule too. You don't want to be within 6 feet of somebody for more than 15 minutes or we're going to have problems. So kind of keep that in mind. And then the last thing we ask of you guys is when you're in the hallways, walk to the right. We have hallway dividers, walk to the right, and keep the flow going the same way. The last thing I didn't put it on here that we talk to all of our students and staff members about is when you get an opportunity, get outside as much as you can, breathe some fresh air. We don't make our kids wear masks outside unless they're by one another. If they're spread out, we let them take their masks off, okay? And again, you hear me say this one a lot, when in doubt, you're just not quite sure on a procedure, go ask your neighbor teacher or use the red call button, okay? So again, that's the reopening plan, which has to do with safety and the IDL or the virtual things, okay? Hope I answer those questions for you. All right, another thing I'm asked a lot about is what's our lockdown procedures here? Again, I said this earlier, when you get here, find the cards. They're by each door. Read them over. There's really 4 cards. There's what's called the weather lockdown, emergency lockdown, a soft lockdown, and there is a fire drill. So look all of them over. Also, I'm going to ask everybody to find what's called the locking mechanism. We have these on every single door. Find these. So if, God forbid, we do go into lockdown, you know how to lock that thing down real quick. So look for that locking mechanism. Also in this school, when the fire alarms go off, you're going to hear the buzzer. You're also going to hear in the elementary school, please evacuate the building. Please evacuate the building. So by state law now, guys, we do not evacuate buildings on fire alarms. Again, when the fire alarm's going off, you do not evacuate. What we do instead is we wait for instructions from the front office. So the fire alarm's going off, get the kids lined up by the door, wait for instructions. If you have not heard from anybody and within 3 minutes, guys, use your instincts. Assume the worst, smell, watch, listen, and go from there. But when we hear fire alarms, we don't go outside anymore. In fact, it's the opposite. We stay inside, but we use your instincts. That might be a good time to open your door, talk to your neighbor teacher. What do we do? What do we do? Or again, what do we do? When in doubt, call the office by hitting the red button. One thing I'd recommend for you is once you get your rosters from the office in the morning, which the office will give you your roster, have that available at all times. If we do have to go into a lockdown or we do evacuate the building for a fire drill, take that with you. Okay, and it's very important that you have that. So this whole section again is about the safety things, and hopefully that was helpful there. But again, don't want to talk too much about them publicly, but every classroom has safety cards, find them, and the locking mechanism. Okay, what technology is available for me as a substitute teacher or as a substitute parapro? In general, guys, we don't give you a device. You're not going to be on one. Okay, your attendance is taken manually. Again, you don't teach the IDL kids. I said that already. unless you're team teaching. And if you're team teaching, then the teacher at home is teaching. You're just there facilitating. So admin and IT will come in and actually help get the computer set up for that person at home. So we'll help you out on that day. Now, with that said, a lot of people in our middle school and high school do their work on their computers. So expect the kids to be working on their computers, but you probably won't be. Now, some teachers will allow you to log into their computer, or they'll show you how to at least go in as a guest. So watch for that. Again, a lot of teachers will leave login, password information, and they'll leave that in their plans, okay? If you bring your own computer in, you're just going to ask the office, and we'll get you the Wi-Fi password so that you can log in, and we'll do that when you actually are here, okay? All right, last slide is just general information that I thought would be helpful for you as a substitute teacher, especially if you're new to the school. If you're not new to us, you guys know all this stuff already. If you're new to us, know, guys, that our students have a dress code, and our kids 99% of the time are in it. So make sure you understand that kids are in dress code. If you don't know, that's in our handbook. If you're in doubt, again, ask your neighbor teacher or call for admin, and we can come help you. Staff dress code, guys, we expect you guys to be professional. So don't show up in blue jeans. Dress up, look nice, be professional. That's what we expect of our subs. We're a non-jean wearing school. And we don't wear t-shirts, and we don't wear flip-flops or sandals. Look professional, okay? That's all I'm going to say on dress code. Bathroom and hallway policy. Again, new this year is mask wearing, but every classroom has a procedure of how kids go to the bathroom or to the hallway, and follow that. And again, most of it is just checking out. Student technology use, guys, this one here, kids are not allowed to be on their phones at all during the school day. Earbuds whatsoever. So don't use it as an incentive. Don't let kids listen to music during class. Kids cannot use their phones whatsoever during the day. We are a one-to-one school, however, so kids will be using Chromebooks or iPads if they're juniors and seniors. But for the most part, we do not let kids use phones here whatsoever. They're going to test you. They're going to try. Don't let them, okay? What do you do if you see a kid on their phone? You want either remind them, or you can take it from them and then give it to the office to Mr. Gann or myself, Miss Woodford, or Miss Morris in middle school, or Miss Gibbons in elementary school, and they can come pick it up from us at the end of the day. Okay, number 5, for those of you not used to subbing in our school, just know, guys, again, as I said this earlier, we have extremely high expectations of our students, behaviorally and academically. So we don't just play here and color and do handouts and watch movies. We don't do that stuff here. We have high expectations. Our kids know them. So we expect you guys, even as a sub, to come in and uphold those high expectations with our kids. When they do that, you're going to have a great day. Our kids will respect you, and they won't be disrespectful. If that happens, we need to hear about it and get us down here right away, okay? Not saying it doesn't ever happen, but if it does, we do not tolerate misbehavior or kids being lazy at all, okay? So, guys, I know that was a lot. I appreciate you watching. What I need you to do now is email me. And my email is found on the website right at the bottom of this video here. Email me that you watch this video. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you on our campus and sub. And I hope you enjoy it. And, if you're ever serious about maybe making this a career, where you want to actually do this as a full-time job, I'd love to sit down and have that conversation with you. So find me one day in the hallway and say, hey, Mr. McLaughlin, what do I need to do to be a teacher? Like what are the steps I need to do to go to college or whatever to get trained to be a teacher? Love to talk to you about that, okay? So again, thank you so much for subbing for us. Hope this video was helpful. And I think that's it. So again, you guys have a great day. And as I always tell all my students, go Bucks.